Barnstable, West Barnstable, and Hyannis West elementary students will soon have more space thanks to the construction of 2 new modular buildings. We have details on that project. Plus, we'll chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, January 19th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mantle. Town and school officials break ground on Phase 2 and 3 of the modular classroom project at Barnstable, West Barnstable, and Hyannis West elementary schools. Interim Superintendent of Schools Bill Butler is glad to see both projects moving forward.
I mean, this is really the start of the end of this 3-phase modular construction project, and I'm delighted to see this day come, and I'll be delighted to see these facilities when they're up and running next September.
Barnstable, West Barnstable Principal Karen Cloutier says the new modular buildings will be used for special services, computer labs, libraries, and music classes.
It gives us the downtime with kids not here at school to be able to get furniture in and materials in, and teachers can set up their new classroom spaces. It gives us the downtime with kids not here at school to be able to get furniture in and materials in, and teachers can set up their new classroom spaces.
Provide environmentally, educationally appropriate spaces for classes that now are operating on stages and almost in closets, and it's really a great opportunity.
It's been a wonderful process. I've been through a few other building projects in the past, and this one is probably the smoothest one that I've ever been a part of. So.
Town Council President Jessica Rapgrassetti attended the groundbreaking with Town Councilor John Flores and former Councilor Ann Kennedy.
Well, this was a lot of work, a lot of persuasion, a lot of collaboration between the school committee and the school administration and the town administration and the town council. And it was something that meant a lot to me. And I have to say to Councilor Phil Wallace, who's not here, and now to Councilor Flores, and to the president of the council, obviously Jessica Rapgrassetti. So I'm ecstatic. Cold, but ecstatic.
It's also important that the quality of the education for the kids, where they're spending their days, that they're in a safe and good environment. As we know, we saw the pictures very clearly of the old portables. They were well beyond their useful life, and so it's time to build anew, and this is exciting for the town of Barnstable, for the school children of the town of Barnstable.
Well, first I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to say a few words and really acknowledge what you did over the years leading up to today. I know as a former school superintendent myself in 30 years in this education business, there's nothing really more important than having good facilities, good teachers, and good materials. And facilities make an incredible difference. It shows that the town cares, that they support their children, they support their parents. So I'm excited that I'm here today for the groundbreaking and look forward to all of it being built so kids can enjoy it.
Phase 2 and 3 of the modular classroom project will be complete this spring. Several Massachusetts schools received bomb threats last week, including Barnstable High School. Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin gets details from Police Chief Paul McDonald. We share a portion of that interview with you now.
A couple of things to talk about today. I think Barnstable was not alone in experiencing this last week. There was a number of bomb threats really across Massachusetts. One, of course, happened at Barnstable High School. Tell me a little bit about that incident.
I think the total number was, I think somewhere I heard between 44 and 47 different school departments across the state had received a bomb threat about 1:30 Friday afternoon. The call came into our high school at 1:31. We responded with the fire department, and after listening to the tape, a decision was made with consultation between the police, the fire, and the school administration that they weren't going to evacuate the school. Plus the time of day, where it was so close to the end of the school day, anyways, they decided not to close the school and go on with it. When you listen to the threat itself, it was very monotone. And if you remember, if you go back last last year we experienced 2 bomb threats pretty much back to back, and it was the same type of bomb threat. And last time when we did all the work, we were able to track the numbers back. It came through Verizon, and the numbers came back 0000000, which means it was a computer-generated bomb threat. And last year when we did that, we put a trap and trace on the system, on the trunking system, and we were able to track it back to a cafe out in California. So with all that and the experience we had last year, we feel it was safe that school could go on, that it was just a hoax anyways. And then as we get into the investigation, we found out there were 3 other schools departments on the Cape that received a bomb threat, and plus I believe another 42 or 43 across the Commonwealth.
And did it appear that all of the threats were kind of coming from the same place? They were all kind of the same message?
I think most of the information, right? Yes, that is correct. The same message went through just about all the schools. Most of the information, part of our investigation, we're forwarded on to the FBI. We had our IT people down there very, very quickly, and once we were able to trace a number, we traced the number within about 10 minutes. And when they come back, all zeros, that means the computer-generated phone call, which means it's probably going to be a hoax, and it probably went to multiple different locations.
What kind of punishment could someone face if you were able to trace the true origin of these bomb threats?
They could face up to 2.5 years of house of correction, and I believe the fine is $10,000 to $20,000.
Okay, well,
and that's not very much. You consider the disruption that they cause. I know a couple of school departments on the Cape. They actually evacuate the school. When you evacuate the school, that's time intensive. You have to bring all the kids out. They have to bring the dogs in. I think Falmouth or one of them brought down a bomb dog to search the school. That takes time.
Absolutely. So, good that these things usually are a hoax, but of course something that you always have to pay attention to, and very disrupting for the day.
And every call has to be taken on its own merit, because of the close, the similarities that we had last time when Barnstable went through it last year. It was still fresh in our mind, and it was almost the exact same scenario.
Indeed. Chief, talk to me a little bit about what happened yesterday at Route 28 in Finney's Lane. A hazmat kind of a situation?
Yesterday was a scary incident. A plumber was coming down Route 28, heading into Centerville. He had 2 acetylene tanks in the rear of his van, and while he was coming through the lights, he was actually stopped at the set of lights at Finney's and Route 28. And one of the acetylene tanks, you could smell the acetylene gases. He knew it was leaking, so he immediately pulled over to the side of the road. And if you're familiar with that area called 20th Field Lane, there's a vacant lot that used to be a gas station. He pulled in there, and what he was going to do, he was going to jump out of the car, and when he jumped out of the car, he closed the door behind him, and the door locked. Which means he couldn't open the door, he couldn't put the windows down, he couldn't vent the van. He called 911, we called the fire department responded, we responded, and because of the acetylene gas, it's so susceptible to explosion, we had to shut down Route 28 about 20 minutes, and I know that was a heartache for a lot of people, but, we couldn't take a chance. If that had blown, it would have been some significant damage. The Seattle Fire Department, they did a great job. They come down with their apparatus they need. We cordoned off the area. They didn't douse the whole van with water. They broke the back window to the van, and that way they were able to vent the gas. And once you're able to vent the gas, it becomes harmless. So it was that could have been a tough situation. But the fire department did a great job, and I apologize to all the motorists on Route 28. It was 10:30 yesterday morning, and I'm sure there are a lot of people cursing us.
Absolutely. It was funny. I met a friend for coffee yesterday about noontime, and he called and said, I'm going to be late. There's something going on at 28 in Finney's Lane. So now we know what was going on.
And that particular road, there's no way to reroute the traffic unless you set up the roadblocks way back at 28 Strawberry Hill Road and West Main and Strawberry Hill Road. Of course, by the time we're down there, the traffic is already stopped, and there's no way to backtrack. So a lot of people just had to wait about 20 minutes in their cars while we diffused the situation. So but it all ended well.
Absolutely, and it's good that we don't hear about these incidents so often. I mean, you think we see so many plumbers or all sorts of contractors, driving around with various gas tanks in their cars, and certainly all safety precautions are taken. But you never know; something could happen, and then something
absolutely.
Happen.
On a cold day like that too, with acetylene, it hits that cold air. God knows what's going to happen to it.
Exactly. Well, Chief, I guess one good thing about the cold is it does bring those crime calls down a little bit. We always like to talk about that.
It does. It's been a very, very quiet year so far, and with January 19, it's been a great year for us as far as our stats goes. And like I've always said, best crime prevention is a real cold day.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we'll get the latest real estate numbers with Register of Deeds Jack Mead. We'll chat with Finance Director Mark Milne. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.